Hi, my name's Andrew. Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to review a fundraising investor database for the mobile app sector. If you watch my previous videos, you know that you can click my Fiverr link below to get information on investor databases for venture capital, private equity, angel groups, family investment offices, and more. I also help clients with pitch deck reviews. If you're getting ready to send your pitch deck out to investors, I have a service on Fiverr where I will review it for you. Approximately 80% of the pitch decks that I receive are not suitable to be sent out to investors. And databases are now free with the pitch deck review, so that's good news if you are getting ready to send it out to investors. That includes one sector only per client. Contact me for more details on this offer. So here are the sectors I've been covering off in the past group of videos, and you can see here on the left hand side we've covered all these sectors. So if your startup falls into any of those, go to my YouTube channel and check out the videos I've made that show how I build databases for clients using my investor database of 400,000 contacts. And in this video we're going to handle the mobile app development sector. So starting off with, I use mobile app as the first keyword in the master database, and we broaden it out a fair bit using technology, e-commerce for e-commerce apps, digital media for app marketing campaigns, cloud computing, and SaaS. So by using all those terms, we are going to flush out most of the potential investors that would look at somebody in the mobile app sector. What did the final database include? So I was able to find 6,400 contacts, and that includes about 3,300 emails, 4,200 LinkedIn addresses, and about 5,200 websites. And that includes some key contacts with titles and email addresses. What type of contacts will benefit from a mobile app investors database? Well, this could include mobile app development studios. Those are companies designing and developing a diverse range of apps from gaming to productivity, seeking investment to drive innovation, expand their product suite, and boost user acquisition efforts. It could also include FinTech startups, and there's a fair bit of them that have been approaching me in the past few months. These are emerging businesses focusing on mobile banking, payments, or personal finance management via apps, looking for capital infusion to enhance feature, security, and market penetration. Health and wellness app creators, again, that's another popular sector. These are firms dedicated to mobile solutions in fitness tracking, diet planning, or mental health, aiming to secure funds to integrate advanced features, partnerships, and global expansion. E-learning app developers, that's another one. I've probably had about 5 of those approach me in the last 2-3 months. Those are companies offering mobile-based learning platforms, courses, or tutoring services, keen on attracting investments to enrich content, user experience, and platform scalability. Social media and communication app ventures. These are startups or companies that are creating new social interaction platforms or enhancing current communication methods via apps, looking for financial backing to diversify features, enhance security, and grow their user base. And last, entertainment and lifestyle app enterprises. These are firms focusing on media streaming, event planning, or daily lifestyle enhancement through mobile solutions, seeking investors to refine user experience, broaden content offerings, and expand into new demographics. So that's a list of the type of groups that would approach a mobile app investor database for potential partnerships or funding. So let's take a look at the database. So now we're over on the database section, and in the case of mobile apps, we're obviously using that as the first keyword that we use for searching for potential contacts to approach. And I've also used e-commerce, digital media, cloud computing, SaaS for this particular case. So when putting these databases together for clients, one thing I like to remind them is do not use these databases for spamming. What you should be doing is grouping these into groups of about 30 to 50 to start off with, and you should also have 3 types of investor lists that you are going to use to go out to potential investors, because you're going to have a number of different groups to approach, and I can help you create those lists. If you go to find my Fiverr profile, you see that I have a gig there that helps people who are in fundraising create investor lists. For example, you've got venture capital groups here, you've got micro venture capital, you've got angel groups, you've got private equity, you've got some accelerators. So you're going to have a number of different type of groups, and I suggest that you approach all of them. Do not listen to anybody that says, oh, you shouldn't go after this one or you shouldn't go after this type. If they're in your sector, it doesn't take very much more time to go out to multiple targets, and the reason being is you should treat fundraising like business development, and I'll tell you the reason why. And I've had this happen in previous fundraising I've done in past years. If you treat it like business development, what you're doing is you're showcasing your product or your service. For example, it's probably going to be something that's new and probably something that this client needs. Now, they may not want to invest in it, but they may look at it and say, hey, listen, internally as a company, we could use your software, we could use your app, or we have a sister company. So by approaching everybody and also using 3 different tactics in your lists and your approaches, for example, you may approach somebody in the micro venture capital, which is probably a great target if you're trying to raise under $1 million. But you may also try to contact somebody in corporate venture capital. Now, corporate venture capital are always going to be the venture capital arm of usually large corporations. And this may open up doors for you as a company, not for fundraising, but they may look at your product and say, hey, listen, this suits our line. We may be interested in some of the services that you have. So that's something to keep in mind, and that's why having a large list, a wide list, is really important. One of the old adages in the fundraising industry is if you ask for funds, you'll probably get a lot of advice. But if you actually ask for advice from some people, you'll probably end up getting funds. And the reason is this, is if you contact somebody in venture capital or private equity, for example, they may have no interest in your company or your product because, number one, it's too early. Private equity get involved in later groups. But if they get back to you, and if they're nice enough to get back to you and say, hey, we're not interested, but come back to us later on, you want to go back to that person. First of all, thank them for replying, because in the fundraising game, and this is why it is very, very soul destroying for a lot of people, is you get very little response. So when people do respond, is go back to them, thank them, and ask them, do you know 2 or 3 people or groups that might be interested in our product? Everybody in that sector of either corporate venture capital or private equity is going to know somebody in venture capital, micro venture capital, angel groups. So make that connection. And another reason being is you may raise funding now and will be able to go back to those private equity guys or that corporate venture capital group that wasn't interested for a number of reasons and say, listen, I contacted you a couple of years ago when we were trying to raise our pre-seed. Now we've raised $500,000 and we're looking to expand. It gives you an open door because you're going to hear a lot in fundraising about warm leads or warm contacts. The best way to warm up a contact is approaching them as a cold contact. So don't believe anybody that says, you don't approach them because they'll only look at warm contacts. That's not how you raise funds and how you build business in 2023. Maybe in the 2000s or 2005, 2010, or 1990, that was a really good approach, but it's 2023. And you have to take a completely different look at fundraising than in the past years. So now if we go down to again, we've covered up the e-commerce, digital media, cloud computing. So let's now take a look at the reviews, the amount. So in the mobile app sector, I've got 6,400 contacts, about 3,300 emails. Now, why are there less emails? It's really easy. Not all the contacts that are involved in these databases, because I source databases from other databases and other sources, and in many of them they do not list their emails. But if you go to their website, you're going to find out that they do list their LinkedIn addresses. So that's why you're always going to see more LinkedIn addresses. A little bit of a tip here: if you're not comfortable contacting clients via LinkedIn, there are services online, and they're not very expensive, where they will find the emails for the LinkedIn addresses. I have an angel investor database that I think has about 35,000 LinkedIn contacts, and I do have clients that have actually purchased those lists and found about 25,000 emails for those particular people. So don't shy away from databases that don't have a lot of emails. You're going to have to learn how to do fundraising using both. And of course, websites. Now, what does this mean? When there's 5,000 websites and 6,400 contacts, that means there may be multiple contacts per website. For example, you contacted ABC company, and they may have 2 people there to contact within that website. A lot of cases too, the websites will have their personal business contacts. For example, you may contact the website and it will say info at, but if you dig a little bit further into looking at the team page, the team page may have their business emails. So that's why you have to do a lot more research. And again, these databases are not meant to be used to spam the list. Take the approach that I've mentioned in earlier parts of the video. So this is how I would create a target list for somebody who is in the mobile app sector for their fundraising. Are you looking for updated investor databases? My databases include venture capital, private equity, family offices, angel investors, angel groups, and high net worth investors with over 400,000 verified global contacts. And be sure to check out my full database of family investment offices, the perfect way to access ultra high net worth investors. This is the largest database of family investment offices that you're able to access. There's over 10,000 contacts. Click my Fiverr link below for more information. Thank you for watching this video.